No brand on earth commands greater loyalty than Disney. They get their hooks in you at a young age and they just never let go. I mean, I remember when I was a kid watching Disney movies like Anastasia, The Prince of Egypt, and The Quest for Camelot made me a die-hard Disney fan to the point where even when I grew up and eventually discovered that actually all three of those movies were made by totally different studios, it didn't even matter. The damage had been done. I think a big part of the reason why the loyalty to Disney is so extreme compared to other movie studios is that Disney isn't just a movie studio. It's an entire immersive world that, if you let it, can take over every aspect of your life. Want to go to a theme park? Go to Disneyland. Want to travel? Go on a Disney cruise. Want to listen to music? Listen to Disney music. Want to watch TV? Watch the Disney Channel. Want to see a play? Go see The Lion King on Broadway. Want to buy a house? Buy a house in one of Disney's new story-living real estate communities. Want to watch a movie about an orphan boy in England who at the age of 11 discovers he has a magical destiny as the chosen one and is swept away to a castle where he's taken under the tutelage of a wise old wizard? Why, surely you want to watch the 1963 Disney classic The Sword in the Stone, right? Right? Disney's perfectly curated brand is so all-consuming and universally beloved that it almost seems too good to be true. And according to a husband and wife from Arizona, it is. The story I want to talk about today is about one couple who tried to blow the lid off of Disney's family-friendly facade to reveal the dark underbelly lurking right below the surface. It's a cult and Walt's the Messiah. Damn, isn't it kind of wild that one day in 1928, a guy named Walt Disney thought it'd be kind of fun to draw a picture of a rat, and that kickstarted a chain reaction that led to him being named the Messiah of a cult almost 100 years later? I mean, if you could somehow tell Walt Disney all the things that have happened to his name and legacy, he'd probably be like, who gives a shit about all that? Now when will my robot body be completed so that they can finally thaw my head out of cryo-freeze? It's a cult and Walt's the Messiah. Meet the couple who sued Disney over secretive Club 33. I guess Club 33 is the name. Not the best name for a cult, I gotta say. It kind of sounds more like a steak sauce. Good cult names have to sound a little spooky, like Manson Family or Theater Kids. Also, it's so funny to sue a cult. Like to sue a supposedly mysterious shadow organization. I mean, can you imagine suing the Illuminati? Like, this is a cult, and that tentacled monster wearing Bono's skin is the Messiah, and I, for one, will be seeing that tentacled monster in a court of law. Scott and Diana Anderson, who spent $400,000 fighting their expulsion from the ultra-exclusive Disneyland Society, are ready to spill all. Okay, so they're suing because they were expelled from the secret society. That does kind of put a different spin on it. They're not actually mad that it's a cult. They love that. They're just mad that they're not members. Scott and Diana Anderson, who spent $400,000 fighting their expulsion from the ultra-exclusive Disneyland Society, are ready to spill all. From using Walt's bathroom to Rebel Wilson's suspension to Tom Hanks' private Thanksgiving dinner. You know, I don't know if I actually need them to spill all about using Walt's bathroom. I think they can keep that part to themselves. They're like, we're finally ready to tell you what happens when we go to the bathroom. Everyone else is just like, yeah, you really don't have to. Maybe just skip to the part about Tom Hanks and Rebel Wilson. Then... First, we feel a rumble in our tummies. Okay. Scott and Diana Anderson only want one thing, to be let back into Club 33. But Club 33 definitely doesn't want them as members. Since 1967, the club has served Disneyland's highest-rolling VIPs, an in-the-know oasis over the Pirates of the Caribbean ride that purports to make the happiest place on Earth even happier. Much of that is due to the fact that Club 33 was for decades the only place inside Disneyland proper to get a hard drink. A harder drink than the pineapple Dole Whip float from the tiki bar outside of Walt's Enchanted Tiki Room? Yeah, right. The Andersons, both 60, have been together 44 years. Okay, problematic age gap alert? I mean, they're both 60? That means he's 0 years older than her. That means that when she was a baby, he was also a baby. The Andersons, both 60, have been together for 44 years. They waited 12 of those years to receive their Club 33 invitation, shelling out $50,000 for their first year dues alone. They got their money's worth, however, using the club upward of 80 days per year. Did they get their money's worth? Did they get $50,000 worth? It says they went 80 days a year. 50,000 divided by 80 is $625, a little over $300 per person. A normal adult ticket to Disneyland is like $180 to $250 or something, not accounting for travel from Arizona. So looking at the numbers, okay, I'm honestly confused by all the numbers, but I think that's like twice as much per person as it would cost to just go to the park. The point is, saying they got their money's worth is definitely up for debate. By their 5th year of membership, however, the magic was fading. Man, it sucks for the magic to start fading after you're already 250 G's in the hole. Really would have been cool of the magic to start fading after like the first $10 or so. By their 5th year of membership, however, the magic was fading. They say new managers had taken over, their favorite chef was gone, and they were repeatedly slapped with member violations. It'd be wild if it just cut off after slapped. It's just like, and they were repeatedly slapped square in the fucking face. It's just like, oh, that does sound bad. They probably should have led with that. Then again, I bet being slapped by Mickey Mouse wouldn't even hurt that bad because of those big poofy gloves he always wears. The worst of those member violations came on September 3rd, 2017, when Scott was discovered by park security keeled over a bench in California Adventure near the 1901 lounge. Ooh, was he mysteriously taken out by an assassin sent by the cult leadership for knowing too many of their secrets, or was he just drunk? A park guard said he smelled alcohol on his breath. Oh, okay, so he was just drunk. A month after the incident, the Andersons were informed they had been expelled from Club 33 forever. Thus began their $400,000 legal odyssey to get reinstated and seek $231,000 in damages. But the Andersons lost after a jury of 12 deliberated for 45 minutes and ruled in Disney's favor. But that's not fair, though. I mean, they should have been judged by a jury of their peers, which in this case would have meant a jury of exclusively other Disney adults. But in this interview with NBC News, the husband Scott gives his side of the story. Here he explains that he wasn't keeled over on a park bench because he was drunk.
I wasn't found to be drunk in the park. I had a vestibular migraine in the park, which was horrific. I had 2 beers and a half a glass of wine.
He just keeps going. He's just like, I just had 2 beers and half a glass of wine and 3 puffs of a vape and 1 sip of absinthe and like 2 Adderalls to perk me up, 3 Valiums to bring me back down, and finally 1 hit of a park employee's inhaler. I don't even know why. I just saw it sitting on a counter and couldn't resist. But he says he only had 2 beers, and why shouldn't we believe him? After all, I know when I have a migraine, nothing soothes it quite like going to the most crowded theme park in the world on a 100-degree day and just pounding brewskis. Now, before we follow up on Scott and Diana, I really want to dig a little bit more into this so-called Disney cult, Club 33. What is Club 33? Okay, one point against it being a cult is that it immediately comes up when you Google it. Kind of hard to be a secret organization when you're #1 on search results. Like, let's try Googling an actual cult. Like, oh, I don't know, the Immortal Church of Robert Schultz. See? Nothing came up.
And nothing of a will detective. You're going to have to work a little harder to catch the Swamp Prince.
Man, what the fuck was that? Anyway, okay, so here's an article from WDW Magazine. What is Club 33? A look inside Disney's most exclusive club. Known simply as Club 33, the lounge is an ultra-exclusive venue for important figures to duck out of the crowds, cool down with a beverage, and enjoy gourmet cuisine. Membership is highly coveted by powerful Disney fans. So much so that the waitlist is rumored to be over 15 years long. But that's just a Disney myth. It's wild to be like, don't believe every Disney myth you hear right after you just got done telling us that world leaders have spent decades secretly gathering above the Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Also, didn't the Arizona couple have to wait 12 years? That's in the ballpark. This article is like, you think you need to wait 15 years to get in? That's just a fucking myth, you idiot. What are you, some kind of idiot? Some kind of dumb fucking idiot? You don't have to wait 15 years. You just have to wait almost 15 years. So, bet you feel pretty stupid now. Disney does its best to keep the club under wraps. Well, sorry Disney, I'm making this video to blow the roof off your whole little secret organization. And if you think you can buy my silence, you were absolutely right. You can totally buy my silence and it would not be expensive. I will fully delete this video and then I'll replace it with like a 3-hour video essay about how the giant crab from Moana is the poly icon Gen Z has been waiting for or something. Club 33 is a sophisticated and luxurious fine dining establishment for elite guests who value their privacy and are willing to pay for it. For well-known visitors enjoying the park, the club club serves as an oasis from gawking fans. Yeah, I bet that was why it was so important for Scott and Diana Anderson from Gilbert, Arizona to be members. It was the only place where they could be shielded from their mobs of gawking fans. As Disneyland developed, General Electric was set to sponsor the classic attraction, the Carousel of Progress, but only under the condition that Walt constructed a private lounge within the park. What kind of freaky shit were the folks at General Electric up to? That's such a weird and specific demand. Yeah, we're happy to sponsor the attraction, but we will need a hidden room. Why do you need a hidden room? No reason, but it has to be secret, and no, it's not a sex thing. Nobody suggested it was a sex thing. It's not a sex thing. Here you would find an oak telephone booth with beveled leaded glass panels adapted from the one used in the Disney motion picture, The Happiest Millionaire. Dude, do not let me into Club 33, cause I'd be the motherfucker pointing at the beveled leaded glass panels like, those are adapted from the one used in the Disney motion picture, The Happiest Millionaire! These are pictures snapped from the inside of Club 33. It's very like Roaring 20s old money. Like a lot of these pictures feel like I'm looking at the inside of the Titanic. Crazy all this formality is going on, only a few yards directly above an animatronic Johnny Depp. Okay, this statue is definitely giving cult vibes. I mean, even though this is an upscale private club, it's still in Disneyland, so you'd think the statue on the countertop would be like Daffy Duck or Cinderella, but nope. It's fully just some sort of naked god having what appears to be an orgy with several terrified women and a snake of some kind. Now for the big questions. How much money does it cost and what does it get you? Membership comes with a hefty price tag that filters out most people. For the original Club 33 in Anaheim, members must deposit a $60,000 initial invitation investment, along with $25,000 in annual dues. Okay, well I certainly hope it's a cult, because for 60 grand down and then another 25 grand a year, I better be buying immortality or at least chosen one status in the Rapture. Membership includes an annual pass for each year you are a member of Club 33, 50 single-day guest passes to the parks, private VIP tours offered yearly, Club 33 merchandise offered only to members, miscellaneous VIP services, sneak peeks on park news, complimentary resort hotel upgrades. It's so funny that you're still staying at the same resort hotel. Like when you go into the park, you're discreetly tucked away in the secret clubhouse for the 1%. But then once the park closes, you're just right back in the same crowded hotel as all the civilians you paid 60 grand to avoid all day. Complimentary resort hotel upgrades, valet parking, access to 1901, the exclusive lounge, and Carthay Circle Theater. Okay, none of these things actually seem all that out there. Wouldn't it be wild if they just slipped a crazy one in? They're like, once a year, you get a private VIP tour, once a month, you get a fuck Pluto, plus resort hotel upgrades. Look, these things feel pretty standard issue, but I guess what you're really paying for is the exclusivity, right? Who can get into Club 33? Club 33 is extremely exclusive, only accepting a few hundred members per destination. Additionally, membership to one Club 33 location won't grant you access to other destinations. With such limited allowance for membership, not just anybody can join the club. On top of monetary cost, an even more challenging obstacle lies in the way of those seeking membership. Club 33 is accessible by invite only, so even if you've got the cash, there's no guarantee that Disney will deem you worthy of the club. Several factors play into whether or not someone is eligible, but as you may expect, the primary variables are fame, money, and influence. But seeing as Scott and Diana Anderson were able to become members with no fame and zero influence, it seems like the real primary variable is just money. They're like, it's not about the money, it's about getting an invite. Oh really? How do I get an invite? By paying us a lot of money. Known members include Elizabeth Taylor, Christina Aguilera, Elton John, Tom Hanks, Tiger Woods, Michael Jackson, and Katy Perry. Don't forget Scott and Diana Anderson. I just imagine Diana riding the Victorian-era French-style lift with Michael Jackson, like, you know, sometimes my husband gets migraines and passes out on benches. And Michael Jackson's just like, who told you you could talk to me? And yeah, that was my Michael Jackson impression. Live with it, deal with it, leave me alone. Ooh, here's a post I found on Reddit of someone who snuck into Club 33. Secrets of Disneyland. We snuck into Club 33. We found a secret back door to Club 33, the exclusive VIP venue inside the park with a $20,000 membership and 10+ year waitlist that was unlocked. I took a couple shots of what we found inside. We entered what appeared to be a smoking/water bong room dripping with luxury. A smoking/water bong room? Now we're talking. That's that shit that had Scott keeled over on a park bench. Let me click through to see all their secrets, and 404, page not found. Holy shit. The mouse got them. Disney's like, sorry, but once you've seen the smoking/water bong room, you have to die. Here's another article from Thrillist. How to get into Disneyland's VIP Club 33 without paying $30,000. Well, it's easy. You just do what those people on Reddit did. You sneak in through the back door, take a bunch of pictures, and then have your neck snapped by Goofy and are never heard from again. Also, I thought it was $60,000. Every time they quote a price, it's a totally different but still insanely high number. A certain sacredness pervades the air in Disneyland that is hard to appreciate if you're only a passive fan. By passive fan, they must mean a fan who only paid a few $1,000s to take their entire family on a trip to Disneyland to ride all the rides, as opposed to all the active fans who are dropping 6 figures just to eat dinner above the rides. One former cast member explains, as far as the club's purpose, it's more tailored to celebrity clientele, people who need to escape the crowds of Disneyland. It gives them a place where they can bring the VIPs. In 2015, for example, Kanye West and Kim Kardashian took their daughter Northwest to Disneyland for her birthday. During a Frozen sing-along, a cast member snapped a photo of Kanye sleeping through the show. The woman playing Elsa, who's friends with Elsa, which is how cast members describe their roles off the clock. You can just tell from that one sentence that whoever's writing this thinks it's so fucking stupid. The woman playing Elsa, who's friends with Elsa, which is how cast members describe their roles off the clock, posted about it on Facebook, touching off a TMZ teapot tempest and a PR headache for Disney. I gotta say, as PR headaches featuring Kanye West go, this one's pretty tame. Reading the story, it's kind of like, of course Kanye West is gonna be bored by the Frozen sing-along. When you spent all day in the studio recording songs like Black Skinhead, what the fuck are you supposed to get out of Do You Want to Build a Snowman? Tom Hanks is a member, Nerdist founder Chris Hardwick, actress Rebel Wilson, and former Playmate Holly Madison. Their membership really is all over the map, huh? They're like, Tom Hanks is a member, and I'm immediately like, say no more. If Tom Hanks is a member, then I already know that Chris Hardwick, Rebel Wilson, and Holly Madison are members. I mean, those 4 goofballs are inseparable. When leaving the club, you'll have no choice but to exit through the gift shop, which is stocked with ephemera such as Club 33 shot glasses, Pandora bracelet charms, and custom Dooney and Bourke handbags. Good lord, Disney never stops, huh? I pay $60,000 just to get into the club, and then when I'm leaving the club, you're still trying to drain another few dollars out of me for a shot glass? So how do you get into Club 33 if you're not a member? The obvious catch is about, 50 large, but if you want to visit Club 33 without spending a small fortune, start asking around. Members can make lunch and dinner reservations for non-members, which makes it more accessible to us plebeians. If you don't know someone who is a member, good luck getting in. Not really much of a workaround, is it? They're like, to become a member, you need to be invited to get in. But don't worry, if you're not a member and still want to get in, all you need to do is get invited to get in. It's just like, damn, don't they know I'm already asking Tom Hanks for so many favors as it is? What it's like to dine at Club 33, the Salon Nouveau Lounge, open to non-members only when escorted by a member. We get it! The Salon Nouveau Lounge serves a $28 California caviar appetizer and $75 signature hamburger entree paired with a glass of champagne. The 5-course menu at the neighboring Le Grand Salon serves a prise-fils, God, I feel stupid just trying to pronounce that, upwards of $100 that includes dishes like diver scallops, steak tartare, duck breast, and saddle of lamb, as well as a variety of salads and the requisite vegetarian selections. The desserts include pumpkin layer cake, caramel mousse, and diligently selected cheeses. Reading all this, I just imagine being a kid who's excited to go to Disneyland, but then instead of eating cotton candy and riding the Matterhorn, you're eating diver scallops and riding the Victorian-era elevator. And that's kind of how I feel looking at all these pictures of Club 33. Like, looking at all this stuff, the fine dining rooms, the grand piano, the tasteful lounge, it's all very nice, but do you want to know what it isn't? Disney. Like, I understand it for famous people who need their privacy, but for people like Scott and Diana Anderson, who are just, from what I can tell, regular rich people, I really don't get the appeal. It's like, if you're a rich person and you want to go to Disneyland, but you want to eat diligently selected cheeses instead of corn dogs, and you want to be in the tasteful lounge instead of the crowded Main Street, and you want to be politely sipping champagne above Pirates of the Caribbean instead of being splashed on the Pirates of the Caribbean, then that's all fine, but that's not Disneyland. Like, if you're a rich person who just wants peace and quiet and champagne, then you don't want to go to Disneyland, you just want to stay home. But hey, I guess staying home was not an option for Scott and Diana Anderson, who fought their expulsion from Club 33 to the bitter end. And then after the bitter end, when they lost the lawsuit, Scott and Diana tried to go scorched earth on the club by calling it out for the cult it is. Here's an interview with Scott and Diana where they spill all of the club's dirty secrets. The interviewer asks, what are the actual tiers of membership? Scott says, there was silver, there was gold, then they created platinum and executives, and they forced the silvers to come up to gold, and the gold had the option to go up to platinum if they paid the platinum dues. I will say the tiers are definitely very cult-like, or at least very pyramid scheme-like. But your park fees are always covered. Scott, right, Club 33 is really a glorified annual pass. Okay, Scott, well then why did you spend $400,000 trying to sue your way back in? That's like, oh, I don't know, the cost of 400,000 annual passes. Isn't the food in Club 33 supposed to be really good? Diana, it was when Marcel was there. Scott, when we first joined, the original chef Marcel would make a world of different things for you. Alright, it sounds like they don't even fucking like it. They're complaining about this club as if they didn't just spend hundreds of thousands of dollars and years of their life desperately clawing to get back in. Okay, here they start spilling the behind the scenes shit. And there's no blackout days or anything. Diana, correct. Unless they close the club down because they have Tom Hanks coming in for Thanksgiving. Then you have to get out by 3:30. And did that happen? Scott, absolutely. Our friends from San Jose were so pissed off because they called far in advance to get a good reservation for dinner for Thanksgiving. The club said, unfortunately, the latest reservation we have is 1:30 p.m. On their way out, in comes Tom Hanks and his wife and family, so they had their own private dining experience. Hanks did not respond to a request for comment. Gee, I wonder why Tom Hanks didn't respond to their request for comment. This seems like a totally good use of his time. That being said, I do get their complaint a little. Like, obviously the first instinct is to be like, Tom Hanks is famous, Tom Hanks is Woody, of course he's gonna get preferential treatment. But the whole reason you join the club in the first place and pay all this money is so that you're the one who gets the preferential treatment. To then move you to a lower rung on their list of priorities does seem to kind of defeat the point of this insane little cabal they got going on. Diana, member Rebel Wilson got suspended for 30 days for taking a picture in the bathroom, and then 6 months later, she took a video of her dancing with Minnie Mouse in the Grand Salon, and then she was on TV on The Daily Show announcing she'd been suspended. Scott, a bigger scandal was actually Katy Perry offering access to the lounge for charity for $160,000. Diana, you're not allowed to give your tickets to charities. Perry did not respond to a request for comment. Katie, you should really respond to the request for comment. I mean, Scott and Diana are out here telling the whole world about your charity work. Later, when they're talking about actually going to court for their lawsuit, Diana says, we actually subpoenaed Rebel Wilson, but she didn't take the stand. Scott, no, she probably should have. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say she definitely should not have. I think Rebel Wilson made the right call. How are people profiting off their memberships? Diana, they're selling their 100 park tickets. They're selling access. They're getting about $125 for lunch in the club ahead. Scott, then there's exclusive Club 33 merch. There are fanatics out there that obviously aren't members. Members walk out with 10 bags in their hands of the latest releases of merchandise. They put it all up for sale. Damn, so you spend all this money to join Club 33, but then right away you have to start making that money back by selling everything you get when you join Club 33. It's almost like in order for the club membership to make sense financially, you have to turn it into a small business. Scott, we did dinner inside the Haunted Mansion. 25 people around the dining room table. I think that was an additional $2,500 for the two of us. Dude, it is kind of crazy that they keep charging them more money. Like, I thought the whole point of the exorbitant price tag was to get like full access, but then they keep having to pay more insanely high prices just to get access to more stuff. Does it give you access to secret stuff like Walt's apartment? Scott, we got to see it when it was still all the original furniture in there. They've since yanked it all out and replaced it with replica stuff. Scott sounds so pissed about that. He's like, you can't even smell him in there anymore. What's the point of going to his apartment if I can't breathe in Daddy Disney's patented musky scent? I gotta say, giving access to Walt's apartment is so weird to me because, like, Walt wasn't a character, you know? Walt was a real human man. So when you're getting access to his apartment, you're not like seeing movie magic come to life. You're literally just walking around a dead guy's apartment. Still talking about Walt's apartment, Diana says, when we used to go as members, we could have all the time in the world we wanted in there. What did you want so much time in there for? What exactly were you doing in there? When we used to go as members, we could have all the time in the world we wanted in there. Now they make you pay and it's all roped off. Yeah, they probably had to rope it off because you two wouldn't stop doing weird shit. But you used to be able to go inside and walk through. I mean, we were using the bathroom in Walt's apartment because we were in there so long. They were like, go ahead, use the bathroom, it's fine. Walt pooped here. Scott, it is very truly cultish. It's so funny to describe your own behavior as cultish. It is a cult, and Walt's the Messiah. It definitely sounds like Walt is your Messiah. I mean, 5 seconds ago, you revealed you were horrified to have to stop pooping in his toilet. Is it true the 33 in Club 33 is a Freemasons reference? Scott, Walt was a Freemason, and that is the highest level, level 33. Diana, that's all speculation. You can't find any written evidence that that's where 33 came from. I don't know, Diana. Scott seems pretty fucking confident. Here they talk about a time they got in trouble a year before the event where they were actually terminated. In a Los Angeles Times story, they note, the Andersons had run afoul the year before. Diana had been briefly suspended for using some salty language, a couple of F words. Diana, my friend knocked over her drink with her sleeve, and the waiter came up and she's like, may I get another mimosa? He is like, I can give you water or I can give you tea. After 5 minutes, I go, wait a minute, did he just cut us off? And I went to talk to the manager, who would not look at me. Finally, I leaned into him and I said, what the fuck is going on? And he goes, that's it. Yep, that'll do it. Diana's like, I don't know why they were so upset. All I did was get an inch from their face and curse them out. You hadn't been drinking? Diana, I had 2 glasses of wine. Everybody there knows I pour water in my wine. I'm not really drinking 2 glasses of wine. Everybody knows that. I will say one recurring theme is that Scott and Diana really do have a loose definition of I haven't been drinking. Believe me, when we're talking, we know we sound crazy. My friends talk about it. We're like, I know we all sound insane. Yeah, I know I sound crazy right now, but what you don't know is that all of my closest friends also think I sound fucking insane. Here the interviewer kind of asked the big question. You spend a great deal of money to be a member there, and I assume you get no refund, so is it about that? Or do you really miss being part of the club? Why undertake this very expensive legal route? Scott, it was 2 things. One is my integrity was impugned because now I'm the drunk in the park. I will say this, Scott, the only reason I think of you as the drunk in the park is because you brought this lawsuit and then followed it up with several high-profile interviews. If you had just not done any of that, not only would I not think of you as the drunk in the park, I wouldn't think of you at all. So you're not banned from the parks, Scott. No, we're not banned from the parks. Wait, they're not even banned from the park? Then what the fuck is this for? Is the fucking Victorian era elevator really that cool? Have you been back to the parks? Scott, we have. Twice is all I can recall. He's like, I don't really remember. I was pretty fucked up. Diana, we've gone 3 times. We paid for the lightning pass. They didn't tell us how to use it. So we went on 1 ride and then everything was sold out for the day. I'm like, are you kidding me? And while we were in line, Disneyland sold out. So we couldn't go to both parks. It wasn't any fun. This does kind of confirm my theory that they don't like Disneyland. Paying too much, having a hard time navigating the lines, the park being crowded so you can't ride everything you wanted to ride. Yeah, that's called going to Disneyland. I do feel them on the lightning pass thing though. Like last time I went to Disneyland, I paid $70 for the lightning pass, and you think like, oh, having a fast pass, that means you get to cut the line. But then it is like, no, you just get to like reserve a spot hours in the future where you would then be able to cut the line. And it's like, if I was willing to wait hours to be able to ride the ride, I would have just waited in line to ride the ride. And that lightning pass cost comes on top of the already insanely high ticket prices that you paid to get in. Prices that even the CEO of Disney recently admitted were too high. I'm telling you, at this rate, eventually the only people who are going to be able to afford going to Disneyland are the rich people hiding out in Club 33. The rest of the park is just going to be totally empty because no normal people can afford it. And I know some of you might be a little deflated that a video which started by exploring a supposed secret cult hidden in Disneyland has since devolved into nitpicky complaints about how prices are too high and nothing works anymore. But in my defense, that kind of is the quintessential Disney experience. At first, you're drawn in by the promise of these grand, magical Disney secrets lurking beneath the surface, only to gradually realize that the biggest Disney secret is that under the surface, Disney is just an overpriced bureaucracy like every other studio. And I get it, it's more fun to think of the dark side of Disney as being secret cults or frozen founders or ghosts haunting the park, as opposed to the real dark side of Disney, which is mass layoffs or poor working conditions, or a recent story in which Disney tried to get a lawsuit dismissed by saying that a man couldn't sue them for serving his wife food she was deathly allergic to that then killed her because he had signed up for a 30-day Disney Plus free trial, which had an arbitration clause in the fine print. Also, now that I think about it, the very fact that Scott and Diana Anderson were able to sue must mean that they must not have downloaded Disney Plus. Talk about fake fucking fans. All this is to say that, disappointing though it may be, when you actually dive into the facts, it becomes pretty clear that Disney is not a cult. It's actually something far more insidious. this. It's not a cult, it's a company.